President-elect Donald Trump firing back at Meryl Streep, actress, of course, after she devoted an entire speech, her whole acceptance speech, at last night's Golden Globes to calling him out. In a whole series of tweets, Trump said, Meryl Streep, one of the most overrated actresses in Hollywood, doesn't know me but attacked me last night at the Golden Globes. She is a Hillary flunky who lost big. For the 100th time, I never mocked a disabled reporter, would never do that, he said, but simply showed him groveling when he totally changed a 16-year-old story that he had written in order to make me look bad. Just more very dishonest media. This is the tweet from Donald Trump. Well, while accepting a Lifetime Achievement Award, Streep did call out Trump's, quote, performance on the campaign trail, saying it broke her heart.
Well, Hollywood is crawling with outsiders and foreigners. And if we kick them all out, you'll have nothing to watch but football and mixed martial arts. And the person asking to sit in the most respected seat in our country imitated a disabled reporter. It kind of broke my heart. Disrespect invites disrespect. Violence incites violence.
All right. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton getting several rounds of applause at the closing night of The Color Purple on Broadway, a much different reaction than the one Mike Pence received. Remember that? When he was at Hamilton in November? You know, the left, they can't accept this defeat. They're having a really hard time with it, and they are definitely trying to spoil Trump's inauguration any way they can. You got Leslie Marshall and Ford O'Connell back with us right now for their thoughts on all of this. And look, you know, I get it. Hollywood is super, super, super left, and they're entitled to think what they want and say what they want. But Meryl Streep really used a very large platform there, Ford, to go after Trump very directly. You know, I would only point out that at some point they ought to realize that the rest of America is not on their side, because as much as they spoke out for and defended Hillary Clinton, it really only backfired, don't you think?
Well, yeah, look, there is no single group in the entire world that has worse Trump derangement syndrome than Hollywood. The election's over. They didn't get the memo. But from a business perspective, here's what La La Land hasn't seemed to grasp, is when they knock Trump, they insult half of America. And that's pretty stupid for Hollywood's bottom line, Trish.
Yeah, I mean, you think of all those Trump supporters out there, Leslie, and I guess Meryl Streep wasn't thinking about them last night, but and she's probably well enough off that she doesn't need to think about her ticket sales. But I wonder if all those Trump supporters are going to be willing to go see the next, Meryl Streep movie hit.
I don't think she has to worry about that, Trish. And unlike Donald Trump, and I've done some acting, I feel I know a bit more than the president-elect on this. She's a brilliant actress. I would say arguably one of the best female actresses that I have seen in my lifetime. And I think many people would agree with me, even those who supported Donald Trump.
Leslie, she's an actress. She's not a politician. She's not a business person. Does she have to get up there and go on and on about politics in that kind of platform?
This happens all the time, though, Trish, whether it's the Tonys, the Golden Globes, the Academy Awards, actors and actresses get up there and state this. And this is not a surprise. Hollywood is very Democratic-leaning forward. And quite frankly, look, I have an 8-year-old and a 9-year-old. And if they were to mock a disabled child, they would be punished for that.
Well, he's saying I wasn't mocking him.
Seen on video.
He's saying I wasn't mocking him. Go ahead, Ford.
All I'm going to say is that Meryl Streep, just because it happens doesn't make it right, okay? Hollywood is the biggest bunch of hypocrites in the entire world. They're all about tolerance so long as you agree with their monolithic thought. And 2 points for Meryl Streep. If she's that concerned with disabled people, she should have worried about the kid that got beat up in Chicago mocking Trump. And frankly, I'm okay with MMA and football, and I think half of America is as well.
But are you okay, Ford? Are you okay with the...
I just want to expand on what Ford's saying here, because I don't think it's just Hollywood. I think that this is the left overall right now. In other words, if you do not agree with us, you are somehow a racist, a xenophobic, you're a misogynist, you are all these horrible things. They've made multiple comparisons of Hitler to Trump. I mean, it's gotten to the point, Ford, where they're taking it too far. And for a group of people that's supposed to be about freedom, why is it that it's only about their freedom and it's only about their intellectual freedom and nobody else has the right to think anything else?
Because they're the moral guardians of America as they see it. It's not about being an actor. It's about telling Americans what to do. And they have a platform and a bully pulpit to do it. And people really need to call them out. I respect Meryl Streep as an actress. I think she was great in Postcards from the Edge. That doesn't mean I need to listen to her about morality and how people live from paycheck to paycheck in middle America that she sneers down on when she breaks into these petulant temper tantrums like this.
Leslie, every American wants what's best for the economy right now. Americans decided that Donald Trump is the best opportunity for our economy right now. Just final thoughts here. You think it's appropriate for Meryl Streep to make these comments, but is she completely, in some ways, out of sync with the people that are spending the 15 or 20 bucks to go and watch her movies? And doesn't that speak volumes sort of about where Hollywood is at right now?
Well, quite frankly, Hollywood's not hurting. Look at the box office sales. If these people want to pay that for the tickets, I mean, it's simple economics 101, supply and demand. And Ford, you have the option to change the channel when she or anybody else on the left says something you don't like. But the thing that sets us apart from every other nation is that we can stand up and say something against our president. And I guess in this new presidential style, our president can say something back toward that individual on Twitter. For those in Hollywood and others like myself on the left, we want a robust economy. I think we all in America agree on that. But many of us, myself included, are still upset with some that are not disgusted by some of the rhetoric or actions such as she was speaking of with regard to mocking of the disabled reporter.
Okay, I said it was final thought, but I got one more question here because Ford, some are taking issue with the fact that he's fighting her back, as Leslie mentioned, on Twitter. And they're saying that that's not presidential. Is it perhaps, though, in this new kind of world we're living in where Twitter now suddenly matters, is he appealing to his base in a way that helps him?
Yeah, I absolutely think Trump is absolutely right to hit back on her because I have to say this about Meryl Streep. She has an oversized and undeserved megaphone, and if he doesn't stop her in her tracks, this is how this stuff starts to percolate. And basically all the left cares about is Donald Trump being a catastrophe, not America getting back to work.
Leslie, Ford, good to see both you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Trish.
Happy New Year.